he did say abolish ILR. Like, he wants to completely abolish it.
So what?
Well, I mean, that's corroborated by the fact that he was complaining about Farage standing like brown candidates. Like, his whole point is to like deport them.
He's saying that he's just going to offer an alternative to the British people. You know, if you want to vote for Nigel Farage's multicultural Labour Party, basically, then feel free. If you want to vote for a more conservative option that represents the 1,000 history of British lineage in this country, then you can vote for Rupert Lowe. And I think that we've got a lot of the black community, the Caribbeans, they're on our side.
I mean, personally, I would never vote for the Conservatives ever again, or Reform, or Restore, simply by delivering Brexit or enabling Brexit.
You're great enabling it or delivering it, so not delivering it and enabling the possibility that it might get.
We've left the European Union now.
Okay, bro.
No, that's just my opinion. I'm not quite an absolutist on that, but I just don't see that. You know, it's just we have all these people here today because of Brexit. Anyway, we don't need to go into detail of that because you disagree.
It's because the government won't put in policies to prevent people coming over here. That's why we've got them here.
We would have had them whether we stayed in the European Union or not. Because look at the rest of Europe, they're flooded as well. And they're still in the European Union.
Sure, but if you compare our situation on a sort of like time series basis, when we left the EU, small boat crossings and legal migration jumped up substantially, particularly the latter.
Yeah, but it did across Europe too.
Not to the extent of the UK.
Yeah, but it's still relative, pretty much the same. I mean, look at France.
But France has always had that issue as a mainland country.
It hasn't always been like covered in foreigners, you know?
No, I mean since the crisis began.
It seems to have got worse in the last few years, especially.
Yeah, what happened in the last few years?
They let loads of foreigners in against the will of the native population.
Well, you wouldn't have needed those people to actually do the jobs if you had the single market still.
You don't need those people to do any jobs. They actually create more of a problem than they solve. You know, the few people that we get for the NHS don't pay for all of the people that are sat there on benefits. All of these foreigners that come over, 94% of Muslim women or something like that, and 76% of Muslim men that are on job seekers allowance or something, right?
I mean, I don't like. Yeah,
it's fake news.
But it was, bear in mind, it was Boris Johnson, the architect of your beloved Brexit, who caused that.
Who didn't
by delivering Brexit?
Who Brexit? He delivered the Chequers Agreement. He delivered the Chequers Agreement, which was nothing like what the British people voted for.
We left the single market, we left the customs union, we left the European Union. What more do you want?
You're a troll. Okay, no, we didn't. We're still a part of that. We still have to abide by the same regulations.
You just look this up as a Google search.
Dude, just because it says in law that we're not a part of it doesn't mean that we're not still abiding by all the same legislations.
But we're not. That's why all these European migrants left, because they're not regulated by the single market.
Yeah, but who do you think keeps turning over? Like, we still have to follow the ECHR because they still are able to appeal to the European Court of Human Rights.
Yeah, sure, but that's not associated with our membership of the European Union. That was associated with the Human Rights Act 1998.
Yeah, but regardless, it's still fucking us over. European laws are still fucking us over.
Well, domestic laws now.
The people got told this. They got told that if they vote for Brexit, we're going to leave the single market. We're going to leave the European Court of Human Rights. We're going to leave all of these financial treaties or whatever that we're in with the European Union.
No, but that's the whole point I'm making is
start trading with the rest of the world.
Well, you can make genuine criticisms of the ECHR, particularly Article 8, and I know that's something the government is reworking. Sure, I'm not denying that. But the logic of basically prescribing paracetamol for a broken wrist is effectively what this is, to use an analogy. It's you've identified a problem and you've just identified the completely wrong solution, and that's why Brexit's made it worse.
No,
But the
look,
European Union is corrupt as fuck. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no... Like, I feel like you're viewing the European Union with rose-tinted glasses. Like,
Now,
you're just part of, like, this oligarchy quagmire that has this illusion of, therefore, they're a good
well, I'm
thing.
part of
Not...
the oligarchy. I mean, just for context, I've got like a lower middle class upbringing, so I'm not like a member of the oligarchy. I'm just literally
I'm not saying
looking.
you are. I'm saying that the European Union, like the Parliament, it's...
Yeah, but you do realize it's the European Parliament. Like, you elect members to it. We elected members to
Yeah,
it.
but you don't elect the leader.
Well,
Like,
you don't elect the leader in our
they're
system.
not properly accountable to the people, are they?
Yeah, but you don't elect the leader in our system. Like, you elect the legislature, and the legislature elects the leader. That doesn't mean we're not a democracy. That just means we're a parliamentary democracy, the same as the European Union.
look, everyone can see the corruption within the European Union, bureaucrats from the previous communist regimes across Europe, Belarus, etc., working in the European Union's hierarchies, the secret elections, which are supposed to represent the people of Europe, but it just seems like all of the things that they've put in place, all the bureaucracy that they've put in place in the European Union, is to prevent people in small towns across Europe getting what they want. They just can't get what they want because the European Union says, no, you have to take all these Africans on some human rights shit, and if you don't take them, we're going to take the money that we took off of you and then give it to countries that are willing to take these migrants instead of actually funding in development projects that are going to benefit the poorest people across Europe like they promised to originally. Types of funds. They said they weren't going to make a European army, they made a European army. We don't want this. We never wanted it. We never voted for it. We didn't want to fund it. We don't support von der Leyen and her claiming that we live on a society built on Jewish morals. It's crazy. What the fuck is she on about? This
Well,
isn't
look, bear
what.
in mind, like, to be fair, not Fox, like, you can argue that about that thing about like taking more immigrants and stuff, but that's the whole point of like a collective burden of responsibility. You collectively bear the burden to like and minimize it by distributing it towards each country, for the net benefit that you get from entering the European Union. And as our economy was much larger under the EU, the fact that we had less legal and illegal migration is kind of prescient of the fact that it was actually better to be in that arrangement that we had, the quid pro quo arrangement.
Nobody in Europe wanted these people to come, and they forced them on us anyway. So that's not.
In parliamentarism, you don't get that what you work for. That's the whole structure. Parliamentary, because there are parties in parliamentarism. There's in a parliamentary democracy, they try to represent most of the people, which means that you vote the least bad one, the one that is the best, but still not the one that's representing you fully. That's just how parliamentarism works.
That's not necessarily parliamentarism. That's more first past the post and proportional representation. Because under PR, you vote for like you can vote for kind of your preferred party because they've got a higher chance of winning if they're a minor party. You're getting confused between majoritarian and proportional voting systems.
55%.
It is not possible.
We voted for WTO Brexit. That's what we voted for. Everyone was told that we was going to have trade relations with the Commonwealth again. We were going to restore our connection to the Commonwealth and with America and build trading lines between like America and, you know, other countries that don't have to meet the burden of European legislation, that we don't have to pay tariffs on meat and food goods and, you know, clothing and footwear.
Well, I mean,
of the world. And then what did they do? Locked us into a policy where now we're not allowed to leave.
You voted it. Well, the point is that it was 52% of.
You have a nice day, Warwick. I'm going to sit here with you. It's boring. You just always say we did not. You know what we voted for, and it's not to be trapped into the European Union, bro.
No, you can say the point
left, but you know what the Chequers Agreement is. It's not something we voted for. So why do you just keep saying voted for it? It's so disingenuous. It's not a real conversation.
No, but I mean, you didn't vote Chequers. You didn't get the Chequers Agreement. You didn't get the Chequers Agreement. That was Theresa May's deal.
Yes, we did. Boris Johnson's deal was the Chequers Agreement.
No, that was Theresa May's deal.
Okay, so what did Boris change about the Chequers Agreement?
Well, we left the single market and left the customs union.
That was part of it. That was part of Theresa May's deal.
Well, the whole point of Theresa May's deal was to keep like us in line with rules that benefited us.
Yeah, but then that's the elite sort of turning around and going like, no, we didn't want what the people voted for, so we're just going to find some slimy way where we get to do what we want anyway.
With respect, though, the term Brexit was extremely, like, the whole point of, like, people are talking about the Brexit, actually the ballot paper itself, because it didn't say on the ballot paper, you want to vote to leave the European Union with a WTO Brexit. It said you want to vote to leave the European Union, which leaves it up to interpretation as to what you want to leave.
Crazy that you guys muddy the water so much. The people that voted Brexit, if you look at polls of people that voted Brexit, that supported Brexit, they wanted a WTO Brexit. That's what
You're
they
saying
wanted.
every single one?
Not every single one, but the larger percentage of those people wanted WTO. So it would be like 75% if the European Union refused to negotiate. Then they wanted to go WTO out of the people that voted Brexit.
So you're saying that 75? Okay, but you're saying that
there's always gonna be people with different opinions about how things should go. If you make some kind of binary choice, like whether we should be a part of Europe or not, how should all the financials be managed? But the fact is that the majority of people should get what they want, and the majority of people in the country had this consistent opinion that they wanted to do a WTO Brexit if the European Union refused to give us any leniency on their single market policies and stuff like that. We didn't want to be bound by the European Court of Human Rights. We didn't want to be bound by the single market tariffs on all sorts of different things. We were trying to negotiate a deal where we had like financial services at a discount rate with Europe, and that we were able to trade with the rest of the world. That's what we wanted. They rejected that completely. And so we should have got WTO and told them to go and fuck themselves, and that we're charging £2,000 on every hour they drive over the border. That's what we should have done. Any BMW,
at the same time,
any Mercedes that crosses that border, any bottle of wine, any cheese, anything from France or Germany or anywhere else, going to tax it, and the same way that they tax us, and we're going to take back control of our waters, and they ain't going to be fishing there either. Okay, that's what we should have done. That's what everyone wanted to do.
Well, I mean,
hold on. Let me bridge the gap between you guys.
65%. You said about 75% wanted WTO of the Brexit electorate. Bear in mind, even if that is true or not, I mean, I don't know. That is 75% or 52% of 70%. Because obviously 52% voted Brexit on a 70% turnout. So that is a very small number when you think about it.
So you're supporting a party that with less of the vote. You're critiquing our view of policies, right? And what we should do in terms of, like, you've got a large percentage of people that agreed with me, a larger percentage that ever agreed with the Labour Party and Keir Starmer.
Please let me do this. Please let me just say one comment. So most of the people voted for Brexit, and that's what you say. And
no, that's not true.
And then hold on, wait. No, I'm getting to you. And then what this guy says is that the Conservatives, the Tories, delivered on their Brexit promises. Those are the two things that I'm hearing here. And they don't square up, because if the Conservatives did what the majority wanted, they would have a hope in hell. You know what I mean? I don't understand that.
No,
how do those two things square? So Brexit was done, and that's why your country's in the problem that it is.
I can address that without a doubt.
And so the Conservatives delivered on what the people wanted. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, no, SP, because I'm not saying that the majority of people supported Brexit. It was 52% of 70% of the turnout.
So that's already X, Y, Z, and ABC. That's all you're saying.
Oh, what we should do is like an exit poll. We should look at the 30%. and we should apply the percentages that were across the rest of the country. There's no reason for you to jump to this conclusion that the other 30% somehow didn't want Brexit. You don't know that. It's crazy to say that.
No, I know, but you're saying that there's this definitive.
Like 80% of the country doesn't want what Labour's offering. You know, I think Keir Starmer's popularity is lower than Adolf Hitler. You know.
Okay, that doesn't negate from the facts that, like, you can't just like have a random stab in the dark about Brexit. Like the remaining 30% would have voted for Brexit. The point I'm making is that like it didn't have this like strong foundational mandate that you say it did.
Yes, it did. We won a referendum.
And they even did polling.
Like by
It
52%.
was like making it all about immigration. Like the most important thing, I think, I remember one of the research polls they did was sovereignty. And at the end of the day, people just didn't want someone in Brussels telling us what to do. You know?
Yeah, but how did that work out? Like, what benefit has that resulted in?
Well, what benefit does having someone in Brussels telling us what to do?
See, this is your problem.
5% larger economy.
You asked, how did it
illegal immigration?
Listen, man, you asked, how did it work out? Did they do it? You're acting as if what people voted for, or the mandate that the other people are saying, that it occurred, that they got what they wanted. And now you're standing and saying, well, look how that worked out for us. It didn't work out very well. No, they didn't get anything. They didn't get shit.
Hello?
And that's why that party is in the shit.
Is he?
You can't say, look what they did. You got what you wanted, and now we're all fucked. You can't say that because they didn't get what they wanted. That's why their party's dead.
They did get it.
You see what I mean?
They did get what they wanted. You voted.
You didn't get control over migration. I just read the reform, the reform immigration policy. You're still in the fucking European Commission of Human Rights. Still. That's the first thing that they say they're going to do if they gain power.
Yeah.
You didn't get shit.
Bear in mind that was not part of the. No, but that wasn't part of the European Union. That was the Human Rights Act, 1998.
What you want is just sodomy from sea to shining fucking sea. That's what you want. But the people that voted for Brexit didn't get shit.
Well, they did. They got what they wanted. They got.
No, they didn't get what they wanted. What the fuck is wrong with you? If they got what they wanted, then the conservatives would reign fucking supreme, but they don't, do they? It's a real simple calculus, man.
Well, look, the whole point is that if you vote to get a horse and you expect that horse to fly, look, if you vote for a horse and expect the horse because you want the horse to fly, and then you realise the horse doesn't fly, you know, you're at fault, not the actual decision to.
That's not what's going on here, man. You're saying that the people got what they wanted, and then we're fucked. They didn't get what they wanted.
They did.
Now they're fucked for different reasons, but not because Brexit was realized.
Well, they got what they wanted fundamentally.
Am I just cutting through the bullshit of this guy, or am I just crazy?
He always does this, but yeah, we didn't get Brexit. He's saying we did get Brexit because on paper, in law, it says
on paper. Shut up, Goy.
The European Union, but in reality, we're still bound.
Go.
We're still bound by the same. Okay, bro. Thank you.
Go.
It's because I defeated him in a debate the other day. So, what are we doing here? What was it? So yeah, basically on paper we're out of the European Union, but in reality we're still bound by all of the same legislations, all of the same burdens. The only difference is that we don't get to vote in the European elections now, which is retarded. Obviously. So what they did is, because they didn't like the fact that we voted for Brexit, they just took rights off of us. They took away our rights because we voted for more rights. And that's how they work. You know, they'll punish you. That's why they're beating people over the head with shields for disagreeing with the government on immigration. If you disagree with them,
go.
They will stab you in the face. They get the opportunity to. So what are we doing here? Slash. His name began with AH. God damn.
Yeah. I mean, I just seen someone put in the side chat, the horses that fought for lying. I mean, like, if it's in their incentive to lie, to, like, win something, then they're going to lie. You're at fault for believing it. The Brexit campaign was executed on misinformation, fundamentally. They told you, Boris Johnson said there would be 350 million for the NHS. Where did that go? He told you that your illegal immigration would be stopped. Where did that go? He told you that your legal immigration would be minimised. Where did that go? Like I'm saying, you were lied to and you believe the lies. Problem solved.
Keir Starmer said that. Keir Starmer said all that stuff as well. You believe lies.
This is what he's saying. You got what you wanted, and now we're fucked. But you didn't get what you wanted, and what do you expect? I mean, it's fuck you, man.
Look,
just be a man and say something that's true.
The point I'm making is that they got what
like
they
my
wanted.
You sound like my ex-wife. You really do.
Yeah, take the head to you. But the point is...
Yeah, were they? I have a question. Did they get what they wanted, or were they lied to? That's a very important.
They got Brexit, and they were dumb enough to believe that it would, be good.
So they deserved it. But they didn't. They wanted to. No, so they wanted to lie to.
They got what they wanted.
Hold on.
That's why they still support Brexit.
Hold on. Okay, so your claim is the people wanted to be lied to.
We got lied to by grifters like Farage and Boris Johnson, who were telling us that we'd have this bustling utopia after Brexit. We'd have 350 million for the NHS a week. We'd have all this fucking bustling utopia. You have been lied to. This is the point I'm making.
That's what he's saying. They lied, and the evidence is none of them retained power.
Well, they lied. Yeah, exactly. So what? But the problem is
that the people don't. So they didn't get what they wanted with Brexit. Yes, Brexit. You let. Hold on. They left the European Union in a small way, but as for what Brexit was in its totality, they did not get what they wanted to. They said they were lied to.
In its totality, because the whole point is it was a lie in itself, like fundamentally. It's not like,
But the people wanted it.
It's not
they wanted. Hold on, no. They wanted. That's not what they really. That's not what.
It's not like the bustling.
They didn't get what they wanted, and simultaneously they got what they wanted.
It's not like the bustling utopia of Brexit was even possible.
Hey, listen, man. If they're evil either way, or if they're evil or stupid or both, either way, whether they get what they want or they don't get what they want, well then fuck you. See you in a concentration camp.
The point is, that the electorate was stupid enough to believe the lies of Johnson, of Farage, that Brexit in any form would actually achieve benefits for this country, and they believed it. Well, I say they believed it.
They didn't even make the changes, though. They didn't reduce it. They didn't reduce immigration.
Emotion bullshit.
Because it wasn't going to work.
Reducing immigration doesn't work. They didn't even try.
It wasn't going to reduce immigration.
You don't know that. You didn't even try. They didn't even try. They let more people in.
Look, you're American. You don't know anything about our politics. You
don't even know. Because most of the people I speak to are actually English. So,
okay.
And they're not even right-wing. And they all supported Brexit because they wanted gone. They wanted less immigration. They wanted to quit giving gifts to the European Union.
Sorry, again, the point is that
it didn't happen. They were lied.
Again, it wasn't going to achieve that. The whole point of Brexit.
They either got what they wanted or they didn't, and they were lied to.
They got what they wanted. Look, I'm just saying. They got what they wanted. Britain out of the EU. They got what they wanted in Britain out of the EU. They just didn't get the benefits associated because there were no benefits associated.
Oh, no, that's not true.
There was, and they didn't abide to their promises. They were lied to. You said they were lied to.
You leave your country's biggest trading partner.
They were lied to.
They got with your country's overwhelmingly their biggest trading partner, and you believe it's going to work. This is naivety at its maximum. I'm sorry.
This guy's just a political apparatchik. He's just a barking dog. He's not a human being.
He works for the enemy. He literally has been paid by them to do propaganda, guys. So that's.
So they didn't get.
Work in politics, sure.
I'm glad we. Hold on, though. We can drop this, but I'm just glad we established they didn't.
Imagine coming into
and they were lied to.
Imagine coming into an apologetics room and making basic bitch logic errors.
Yeah, thanks,
Imagine
XP. But the point is, Legion, is that I'm saying
my
there is a clear
suggestion is
difference
that you go to
between.
a server called Edgy.
Okay,
Maybe
thanks,
you'll have more
thanks,
purchase for your
thanks. Yeah.
bullshit.
But Legion, to address your point, the point is I'm saying there is a fundamental difference between a situation where what the benefit, these purported benefits of Brexit are possible, and they just didn't deliver on them, and these benefits are impossible, and people were just lied to on the actual benefits. And I'm saying that the latter is the truth.
They didn't do one simple promise as reduce immigration. They actually increased.
I know. That's the point I'm making.
But they willingly, they consciously made that effort to do the opposite of what they said they were going to do. That's not getting what you want.
Brilliant. It's like the whole.
We shouldn't vote. Wait, so we shouldn't vote for anyone. We just shouldn't have elections anymore because we should expect them to lie by your logic.
No. You should expect the Brexit campaign to lie. The Remain campaign didn't lie. The Remain campaign warned of the catastrophic impact on Brexit upon
Total
immigration.
sex victory. I like that name.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then those very people did the opposite of what Brexit wanted, right? They supported